have gone up 89% in the last 7 years in Maine.
Maine families, working families, can't continue to afford double-digit rate hikes year after year. Since 2006, Anthem has made $152 million in profit in Maine alone. Not nationwide, in our state, $152 million profit just here.
I have to ask, who gets a guaranteed net profit today? Anthem decided to take the taxpayers of the state of Maine to court. Not over the rate hike getting cut in half. I guess they didn't need it as bad as they said. But over the 3% guaranteed net profit. To add insult to injury, they said that the superintendent should not take the view of ratepayers into account. Not making this up, I will quote from their suit. The superintendent's reliance on the comments of policyholders is improper.
My battles with Anthem over my son's health care has made it easy for me to conclude that Anthem continuously places their bottom line ahead of my family's health. I know what having no health care is like. I was uninsured from the ages of 16 to 23, even though I worked continuously. At 23, I got married and was covered by Anthem. Within a year, Anthem introduced me to the way they do business. Young, married, happy, and pregnant, I was diagnosed with a rare medical condition involving the twins that I was carrying. The doctors gave me little hope until my father found qualified doctors out of state who had experience with twin-to-twin transfusion syndrome, or TTTS. I contacted the surgeon who had experience with this disease and sent referrals for care to Anthem. Anthem flat denied my claim, essentially preferring to cover the medical care of a miscarriage to covering the life-saving surgery for my children. The surgery survival rate pre-surgery was 0.01%, minuscule, while having the surgery offered myself and my twins an 85% survival success rate. I appealed Anthem's claim and denial of the life-saving surgery and worked with a patient's advocate and the surgeon's office to receive coverage for the surgery. With 2 days until the scheduled surgery, I did win my appeal, and as you can see, the surgery was a success. Thank you. Thank you very much. I wish that was where my story of profit first, people second ended with Anthem, but it proved to be only the beginning of 5 years of battles for coverage. The twins were born prematurely at 34 weeks. Their birth followed 4.5 months of bed rest, 2 of which I lived in the hospital. The total out-of-pocket expense for my prenatal, birth, and postnatal care was $7,500. Within the twins' first year of life, their pediatrician impressed upon me the need for a special vaccine for RSV, an respiratory illness. The twins both have asthma. The pediatrician stated that this vaccine would likely keep them out of the hospital that entire first winter. Knowing the cost associated with infant hospital stays, I was shocked when Anthem denied the vaccination request. My pediatrician wrote a letter of appeal explaining environmental factors, flu and cold season, their asthma, and again, it was denied. This time, Anthem won. My appeal was denied and the twins never did receive the vaccine. At my doctor's request, I pulled my kids from daycare to help keep them healthy that winter. After these experiences, it would be safe to assume that nothing would surprise me with Anthem, and yet my most recent dealings with Anthem has proven the most shocking yet. Both twins were diagnosed with hearing loss, requiring speech therapy, and vision problems at a pre-K health screening in August. I, as a dutiful mom, left with paperwork, referrals, plan of action in hand, and started making phone calls. My first request for speech care was met with this question: who handles your health care? I answered, Anthem. Anthem handles my health care, and they informed me that the rate of denying claims for speech therapy from Anthem was so high, the agency no longer billed Anthem directly. I would need secondary coverage, or I would need to pay $300 per child per evaluation, I said simply, I have coverage, and I just want my kids to hear and speak clearly. These are my experiences with Anthem at every turn. They have chosen profit over people, my family. Thank you.
We have fought every single year in the legislature against the insurance industry who try to repeal Maine's consumer protections year after year. The very good news is it looks like a national reform bill is going to include consumer protections like Maine in their national reform. If that's possible, it would be a huge step forward for our country. But if we don't have competition, like a public option, I am very frightful that companies like Anthem will continue to be the only players in small states. To see this many people come out on a rainy day not only shows me that this issue strikes a chord with Maine people, but how important it is that we pass national health care legislation to try to avoid these kinds of little fights where states like Maine, small states, have to stand up to huge insurance companies. So thank you for coming out today.
I'd like to apologize to all of you for the role that I played 15 years ago and over the course of 15 years in cheating you all out of a reformed healthcare system. And I'm ashamed that I let myself get caught up in the deceitful and dishonest public relations campaigns that worked so well that hundreds of thousands of our citizens have died and millions of others have lost their homes and been forced into bankruptcy, so that a very few corporate executives like those at Anthem and Cigna and their Wall Street masters could become obscenely rich. Every time you hear about the shortcomings of what they call government-run healthcare, remember this: what we have in this country and what you're seeing played out in Maine now, and what the insurance companies are determined to keep in place, is Wall Street-run healthcare. And know this, that we already have one of the most insidious means of rationing healthcare in the world, not by people who we can hold accountable on election day, but by insurance company executives who answer only to a few wealthy investors and hedge fund managers who care far more about earnings per share and medical loss ratios than about your health and well-being. I want to close by suggesting that we all pledge to each other that we will work harder over the coming weeks to ensure that America joins the rest of the developed world in making sure that all of its citizens, our brothers and our sisters, our sons and our daughters, our neighbors and our co-workers, have good coverage that we can all have the peace of mind knowing will be there when and if we need it. Go visit Anthem. They have 3 offices in South Portland, Augusta, and Bangor, and ask them to drop their suit against the taxpayers of the state of Maine and ask them to return the money that they have been spending, their ratepayers' money that they have been spending lobbying against health care reform, to return it to the ratepayers of Anthem and lower their premiums.